Thank you for joining us this morning. You are in the PreSales Collective Masterclass. This is part 1 of 2 that we're doing today. I'm really looking forward to hearing from our presenters. Feel free to grab a cup of coffee. Make sure that you have something yummy next to you to eat. This is going to be a really fun hour that we have together. I am going to go ahead and share my screen to get us started today, and then we will dive into the presentation. All right, everyone. Can everyone see my screen? Fantastic. So, welcome to the PreSales Collective Masterclass. We are so thrilled to have our back-to-back champions of the Demo Days competition with us today, the Presaliños. They were fabulous this year. This was my first year seeing them in action, and we're so thrilled to have them joining us today to tell us a little bit more about the secrets of how to win the competition. Maybe not win the competition, but give an amazing demo for sure. Before we go ahead and get started, I just want to talk through the agenda a little bit today. We're going to do a quick round of introductions. Then we're going to get into the presentation from this team. And then we'll go into breakout rooms. Depending on the size of our group today, we may also just stay in the same room to have a conversation. There's some really exciting questions that the team has prepared about demoing and pre-sales in general. So we'll have a great juicy conversation for 20 minutes, and then we'll get you out of here at least 5 minutes early to send you off to your next meetings. Before we begin, I would just love to give a quick shout out to our sponsor for today's event, Consensus. Consensus is an intelligent demo automation software that was built to help you scale pre-sales. They're used by leading companies in a variety of industries to bring prospects to live demos, better educated and ready to talk specifics about your product. Using Consensus, your sales engineering team builds a library of reusable interactive video demos that sales sends out on demand. Consensus automatically personalizes the experience and tracks engagement. This reduces unqualified demos to near zero and can double your pre-sales team's productivity. Their growth and statistics validate the approach, the 2 most impressive being the almost 3 million stakeholders discovered through the use of automated demos by sales and the average cost of demo when you compare the automated to the price of having your team delivering live demos. If you'd like to see an automated demo for yourself, you can check them out at goconsensus.com. So with that, I am going to stop sharing my screen and pass it over to the main event today. Paco, Rafael, and Yuri, welcome. How are you all doing this morning?
Thank you, Shona. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate taking the time to be with us. We know everyone's super busy. Everyone is doing taking this hour to be with us today, so we really appreciate that. Rafa, do you want to start sharing and so we can go with the video introductions?
Yeah, let me share my screen. Can you all see my screen here?
Yeah, we got it.
We can see it.
Awesome.
All right, so let's kick it off.
Oh, sorry. Let me share it again. I need to share with sound. I always forget that. Cool. Here you go.
Hello everyone, my name is Rafael Coelho, and my goal today is to share my experience as a pre-sales professional and show you how to create a sales superstar team in your company to achieve better results.
Hi there, I'm Yuri Morales. I've been a sales engineer for 3 years, and I'm excited to show you what makes Presaliños a great team.
Hello, my name is Paco Martinez. I've been a pre-sales professional for more than 7 years. And today I'm going to show you how you can be a pre-sales champion.
All right. Thank you very much, Rafa. The reason that we put this introduction like this, because we did kind of like similar in both years with a little theme in there, is because it showcases the creativity and some of the tools that we use, part of the that we try to overcome with this. So we want to kick it off with this type of introduction to show you a little bit of what you're going to see during this presentation, right? How we come to these ideas, what were the main thought, the process behind really nailed it down the demo days 2021 and 2022. So the content here is simple. What was the challenge? What is the challenge that you're currently going through right now? The tools that we use, and also the solution that we came together, right? And last, we're going to talk a little about some questions for you, some conversation. So to open this mic to you guys to also hear from what you're living day to day in the demos and the presentations. So Rafa, please take it away.
Thank you, Paco. So hello, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon for those who are in the Middle East and EMEA. So my name is Rafael, as we saw here, and Paco was saying. Today, we're going to be presenting the methodology that we use for demo days. And a big disclaimer that I'd like to give you guys here, like, it's not a template. There is no, oh, you need to follow these 5 steps and you're going to have success every time in your life. Because it always depends on the different contexts that you're inserted in, right? So when we understood the challenge of demo days, we noticed that in demo days, for those who are not familiar with, it's a competition that you need to present PreSales Collective. So here you have different groups that represent PreSales Collective. And in the end, everybody's showing the same product. So how do we stand out of the competition if everybody has the same product and service that we're going to be presenting to the judges, right? So what happened is that every single team needed to choose a different strategy or methodologies to present the demonstration. And then each one of the teams, they came up with their own color, with their own shape, with their own creativity, and what they believe they would work or not. And as we can see here, we can see different teams that they use PreSales Collective as the product, and they put their shapes and the colors. And in this example here that I'm showing, it's possible to see that just one of the teams is the colorful one, and probably this team will stand out in the competition. But it doesn't mean, as I said before, that it will always work for every single situation, because if we change the background of the competition, if we change the background of the judge, if we change the background of the environment that you're presenting for, you can see that the same presentation now cannot appear. It's not visible, is not incredible as it was before. And other methodologies, they will stand out better than yours. So the thing that I would like to start off over here is, like, we're going to be analyzing the different challenges, the different tools, as Paco was saying before, and also understanding how we can mix and match together. And in the end, as we are all in the field applying these tools, applying these methodologies and these tools, we're going to have a good conversation of what it works for you, what it doesn't work for you, or what it did work or not. So the first thing that we need to understand, and we did when we did this analysis for demo days, is understanding what type of presentation and environment we are introduced in. So is it a client presentation? So in a client presentation, it depends as well the people that are there and the format and the time that you have to present. So you need to mix and match the right tools and the right methodologies for this situation. Also, if it is a presentation online, or if it's a physical presentation, you also have like other tools for you to work with. Or is it a workshop? So workshop, it has a bias more of education or teamwork together to work in a workshop, for example. So you're going to use the audience more than you would use in a client presentation and so on. Or is it a webinar? So in a webinar like this one, this is a little bit different because we're going to open the ground for everybody to talk, but you have the freedom of speech to be more creative because, like, you're going to be leading and you can use analogies and so on. So we need to understand the environment to use the best tools according to them. But also we need to understand our audience. So for example, for demo days, we knew the judges and we knew the background of the judges. And knowing that, like, oh, one came from Salesforce, another one came from Zendesk, we started shaping our presentation accordingly with the experience that these people they're expecting for, that they sit in their own company and so on. So is it a presentation for a C-level, or if it's a C-level, the CEO actually, will it be an elevator pitch? You need to pitch it in 5 minutes, for example, not more than that. Or is it a presentation for IT team? So if you use a lot of analogies and things that are mythical, it's not going to be appealing for them. They want to use data. They want to be more analytical for that, right? Or if it's a conference, a presentation that you have a mixed audience, you need to pay attention for every single one of them, and you need to balance your presentation for that. So to keep going, now I'm going to pass the ball to Yuri, that will explain about the tools.
Perfect. Thank you, Rafa. So yeah, before we get into the practical tools and the websites and that we used, of course, we have to evaluate each one of those for their usefulness. What's their usefulness? Of course, meeting the environment, getting understand that we are in a competition where there is a criteria, where the judges will score us from the presentation skills, the content and stuff. So each tool by itself is not useful in every context. So we got to evaluate the effects that the tool that we are going to use is going to be effective as we want. And of course, there are a lot of tools that we could use and add, but sometimes less is more. Each tool that we used had its purpose. So if the learning curve of any tool surpasses the effects, the good effects that we'll have in the presentation, in the competition, we just passed it by. So it's the learning curve gotta be less than the effect, the wow effect, the wow factor. So there are a lot of tools that we use, so you can pass it, Rafa. Some practical tools that we use for the presentation or we consider were Google Slides, Keynote from Apple, PowerPoint. We didn't use Prezi, but it was some tool that we consider. For image and video sources, there are a lot of stock images free to use without copyright. Templates from SlidesGo, because sometimes when we want to be creative, we want to create everything from scratch, and we are not reinventing the wheel. We gotta use the tools that give us some advantage. So templates, it's a great one. On Splash, flat icons for icons, and SlidesGo, as I mentioned, for the templates. It's curious about this one. Open Broadcast software is open for broadcasting or recording, and for the final, because of the time, we wanted to include it, but we couldn't. That's an example for the difficulty that it would took us to employ it. So when we tried it out, we noticed that it was some sketchy, it wasn't smooth for us. So we just decided, yeah, maybe next time when we got sometimes to practice or to get in on. So for video communication, the competition in this context, it was in Zooms. In the beginning, we were meeting in Microsoft Teams And one of us said like, well, we gotta practice in Zoom because it's another interfaces, control, configurations, something that the judges really valued from us. It was the coordination, and it was such a simple thing that we practiced from Rafael presenting to me presenting the screen and Paco presenting. It was the coordination that it really took us like 5 minutes to practice. Like, this is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and you're going to start sharing the screen. And that took notice from some judges that from other teams, they didn't consider that small detail, but the details win competitions and the details win clients. So in other apps for image and edition, we use Adobe Photoshop. We consider Premiere. Of course, for the first stage for the YouTube video, we used iMovie. And of course, for the communication organization, we used WhatsApp and Slack. And to track the timers, the time from each one of us, we used Google Sheets. We didn't go maybe the second year because we had the practice, but the first year we gotta make some dry runs between us. Each of us gave us some feedback. So we were prepared for the judges. We didn't like improvise on the run. We were prepared for what we were going to. So of course, if you have a car, if you have a plane, if you have any vehicle, if you don't know how to drive it properly, it's useless. So these tools, of course, it's going to give you an edge. It's going to give you an advantage to present or to do whatever you want, but you gotta mix it with some copywriting. For example, with clients, and Rafael mentioned it, we have to know the audience. If we are presenting to a C-level, we are not going to enhance the feature like, well, this got 5 gigabits of storage. No, you're going to emphasize the benefit. Like Steve Jobs, he didn't say 5 gigabytes of storage. He said you're going to have 1,000 sounds in your pocket, and in that time it was mind blowing. So yeah, and the reference from the customers, the teamwork. If there is no synergy or chemical between, or coordination at least between the team, is it shows. So analogies, passion. We from Latin American, we are known for the passion that we got, but that's our strength. It's not from Spain, from Germany, from wherever you are. You gotta know the strengths that you have and the differentiator, the difference that you make, and use it. So storytelling to mix and getting understood by the audience, and showing, as I said, not the features but the benefits as a story, and that the client can identify with it. So we use templates, videos, diagrams, and whiteboarding. And of course, if you mix all of this in a lab, in a great team, you just going to win 2 competitions in a row. So yeah, I'm going to pass the ball to you, Paco.
Thank you, Yuri. Now let's do a little storytelling. How Presalinos came together and how we were from just a small team to winning 2 times in a row this competition. So when I saw the ad to join this Demo Days competition in 2021, and they selected, I didn't have a team at the moment, right? I didn't know Yuri, I didn't know Rafa, and I just submitted my name. they came back with these two names that say, this is your team. You need to get in contact with them. And I did. I sent the first email to them and say, guys, do you want to join this team? I want to make something. Do you want to participate in this? They agreed to meet. And then immediately we found the common ground, right? We were all three from Latin America. We have the background. We all three speak Spanish. And we really connect and identified. We build our own identity. It's something that really helped us to build, to make that sense of that being together, to find this, to overcome a challenge. So we build the Presalinos, and then everyone start brainstorming, right? They had these ideas about how we can connect, how we can do these analogies to connect with the judges, with the people that we're going to present, to all those pre-sales professionals that wanted to improve and be better, that wanted to learn about PreSales Collective. So we start building these ideas, and Rafa, for instance, came with the one that, are you gonna sell remedies without a doctor, right? Yuri came with this Marisa persona, right? This pre-sales manager that evolved from being just a pre-sales junior to a pre-sales manager. And in this year, for instance, we were very in the mindset of football, soccer, right? Because the World Cup is coming the next month. The World Cup is also coming to the US. And everyone can relate to a sports person in the sense that they are always training and wanted to be better. So we decided that being in having this persona of Ronaldo as a football soccer player was a good one, and making these analogies between football, soccer, and pre-sales was making sense, right? So first we start with that, the brainstorming, the creativity, knowing and understanding the product, of course, and how you can translate that into a visually appealing presentation, how you can build this speech that you can repeat and you can continuously to improve in front of anyone that asks us something about it. So then it was a matter of applying those tools that Yuri was mentioned, right? We already have the soft skills, or the creativity, the mind tools, and then you have the software tools. We keep it simple. We use PowerPoint, right, and Google Docs in some areas. We use iMovie. Yuri mentioned it, that it wasn't that fancy to make it happen. What really make it go was the creativity. And I'm gonna give you an example, right? The part from the stickers, the part where we come to life, right? Explaining ourselves, the introductions at the beginning, that came directly from Harry Potter. That's something that I saw at the park in Universal Studios, that they have it in the movies, right? But they also have it in the park with they move and say, and I wanted to do something like that. So I transmitted that idea to my teammates. They were on board with that. So I figured out a way of doing it. It was super simple, just a picture like that, just a recording of us and putting it together in PowerPoint. So it doesn't take that much of the tools that you already know and have used to make this type of presentation. Also, keep in mind the interaction, right? You want to keep this interactive. That was something that came from the judges, the call to action. So you're seeing there at the left, at the bottom left, the join now. You have this QR that takes you to the page of PreSales Collective. And that call to action came in from the feedback from the judges, from Kevin at the time and Cheryl. They say that what's going to be next, right? What are you telling us to do? So then we build this slide with that feedback. So never be afraid to take that feedback and incorporate that. Whatever, if you're doing a dry run between your own team, between your account executives, anyone that's in your team, you're all aiming to the same goal, to succeed, presenting, doing the demos, convey the message, sell the product. So don't be afraid to take that feedback and incorporate it into that. Also, don't be afraid to have some humor, right? There might be some cultures that humor doesn't necessarily work that well. You need to read the audience. But typically, at least in this case for demo days, we knew that humor was an important part, that it's part of of improving the pre-sales collective, right? Everyone takes this as an extracurricular activity in a sense. So if you're putting the time, you want to have some fun. So that's why we came with this idea of Ted Lasso analogy with James, right? When we did this pre-sales is live and this Photoshop with James and all that. And the same way we did it last time, right? We tried to keep that humor, that Latin passion that was mentioned there, to make sure that this solution was coherent, that everyone played their own strengths, that everyone was comfortable with the things that they were presenting. And it's the same when you're doing your own presentations and your demos. And if you are uncomfortable doing a demo because you don't know the product yet, the recommendation that I can give you is keep practicing, talk to the most technical guys, to your engineers, if you're in software, to understand what are the benefits of this tool, do your own demos. So whenever you are in front of the customer, you really know what's going on, and you can, with the confidence that a good product has, you can totally sell it, right? That you can totally convey the message of all the benefits that this has, and you're ready to take any questions that the people may have. So that was the case for PreSales Collective. We all three have used it. We all three have listened to the podcast, seen the webinars. So we were very confident providing this product in front of our customers, in this case, the demo day judges. I don't know, Rafa, if you have anything else.
No, that was perfect, Paco. The only one thing that I'd like to share with you guys is that here you can see the slides from the different years. So that's why you see different templates.
Yeah.
And from what Yuri was saying, remember the lab analogy that we did, there are different methodologies, different software tools. This is exactly what we draw here. So we said, let's get a connection with our audience, showing like we are Latin team. So both of years, we were wearing like soccer jerseys. So to make, but it's a webinar. So that's why I told you that we need to understand the context as well, the environment, right? So we needed to stand out visually. So the first 20 seconds, they need to see, oh, this group is different. They are showing something different here. So we would like to stick in their minds. And then we started using different tools like storytelling, analogies, statistics, mixing mobile with the presentation, using comedy here. So this is just one thing that I would like to share with you, that it didn't work for the first time, all of them. So we had always, when we passed from the first presentation to the last one, we had feedback from the judges, and we listened carefully to them. So we took off some parts, and we introduced new ones. And we need to get out of our ego, because it was a slide, for example, that I created, and I didn't want to take it out, but it was the better for the team.
Right. So I don't know if there are any questions from the audience. I think there are. For IT, we need to present data. For CAOs, did you say it will be analogies? Can you give an example? I think it was the other way around, but what Rafa was saying is, for instance, or what Yuri was saying is that the one from Steve Jobs, I think it works pretty well, right? You don't want to be, unless the C-level is very technical, you don't want to be that technical. You want to always highlight the business benefits. They are typically down to the benefits, right? What it's going to do this for my business, right? Yeah, exactly. The one that Rafa is highlighting. It's going to improve the revenue. How much, right? How can you back up this? Yeah, that's good. So keep it, if it's a C-level, understand that they have a lot of things in their head, that their time typically is very valuable. So you need to make a very impactful message right off the bat. Analogies may not necessarily work, right? So it is, C-levels are tricky. Always can prepare with the business case as much as you can, like understanding the benefits that product is going to bring to that particular business. How is going to, it's all about the customer always, right? Why does this should matter to them? So